Namaskar. Welcome to this presentation of the annual report of the Continuing Professional Development Group of the Academy of Family Physicians of India. My name is Dr. Kamlesh Bhargav. I'm based in Canada. I'm helping AFPI develop family physicians in India. It all started in 2017 when I met Dr. Raman Kumar and found that I have a passion, wish, desire to do something to help family physicians in India. I've been working outside India for the past 33 years, have a lot of international experience, and thought the term Tera Tujhko Arpan. I want to give back something to India, especially individual family physicians. So, along with Dr. Raman, formed this group, and it has blossomed over the period of time. We have been helping doctors from residents, helping them with their OSCE exam, from practicing physicians, conducting CMEs, workshops, faculty in helping them write books, do research, and you name it. This year, 2020, there was a lot of adversity, but family physicians across India rose and they showed their compassion, their creativity, and innovation. So welcome to this report. We believe in that a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. And we have found many doctors who believe in the same principles, and they come forward voluntarily to help teach, train other doctors.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Roshni Jan Ganguly, a family physician and the secretary of the AFPI Continuous Professional Development Group. As the year 2020 comes to a close, we are here today to present to you the annual report of AFPI CPD Group. Can you remember a year that has been more challenging than the year 2020? What unprecedented times we have all been through. What challenging and trying times we have seen all our patients going through. I must mention here that the family physicians have extended their support and provided care across all practice settings. We have adapted to virtual teleconsultations, attended to patients in clinic, gone for home visits, and even taken care of patients in hospitals day and night. Family physicians have dominated the stage of healthcare this year. While 1 million lives were lost, a decade of technological advancements was seen. So let us see together what AFPI CPD brought you in the year 2020.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roshni. So over to, coming to our aims and objectives, something formal. The aim of this group is continuing professional development of family physicians in India. How do we achieve that? The objectives are to provide opportunities to family physicians from different parts and practice settings in India for presenting their clinical experience and knowledge, CPD through CME sessions, doing surveys of current practices, the OSCE training sessions for residents, and faculty development programs.
Continuing professional development is the process of professional development of skills and knowledge. And it is with this principle that we had a timetable at the beginning of 2020. We had some pertinent topics pertinent to family medicine, some of them being geriatrics, clinical audit, diabetes update, infectious disease update, hypertension, tuberculosis, and mental health. Geriatrics, again, was a vast topic, so we divided into two parts. The first one was facilitated by me, and the moderator was Dr. Kamlesh. Here we covered the basics of geriatrics and some new terminologies with some case-based discussion. We went on to do the the second part of geriatrics, which was a purely case-based learning. The facilitator here was Dr. Jyoti Jain and Dr. Vandana Agarwal, and was moderated by Dr. Kamlesh and myself. The third session in the third month of the year was on clinical audit. Now, clinical audit is again another very vital topic. And if we manage to implement this in our clinics, then it would definitely pay us in the long run. Moving on, from the 22nd of March, we had the start of lockdown due to COVID. And with the advent of COVID, little did we know that it would affect us in this way. Everything had come to a standstill. We were doing virtual consultations. We were trying to adapt to newer technologies. We lacked personal protective equipment. We did not want to be couriers and spread the infection, so we refrained seeing COVID patients initially. While we were adapting and trying to understand this new virus, we thought we must conduct a session on COVID. We came together, a group of 6 people, from our president, Dr. Raman, to some of the members of the executive committee, and 3 of us from the professional development group. This was attended by about 500 participants because everybody wanted to know what were the new modalities of treatment. How do we treat patients on a virtual platform? And this indeed brought out the best. In the meantime, again, there was a group in the Academy of Family Physicians who had started a new chat bot. Through this, we were providing free advice and free consultations to all COVID patients and their caregivers. The initiative was taken up by Dr. Idris Sharif. He had a broad and wide team and a very competent one. They came together, handled different aspects of the technology, and delivered definitely a very, very good product and service. So we brought them together to share their experience. While we were conducting different sessions on COVID, we again continued with our monthly scheduled sessions. This time, one of our members of the Continuous Professional Development Group, Dr. Srividya, and Dr. Gauri of the AFPI Karnataka chapter came together to present on COVID and diabetes, what we need to go. And indeed, it was another successful session with many, many attendees. We moved on to have another session on COVID. This time, we involved and we tried our best to get family physicians across different practice settings from the different corners of India, and we were successful. And this again was the highlight of the initial premature time of COVID, when we did not have proper guidelines and it was all in process, that family physicians came together to share their experiences in different practice settings.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Roshni. Now, in 2017, we began with a group of 5 people that got reduced over a period of time to 3. And then in 2020, with so much happening, we thought we'll increase this group and involve all the heads of various chapters from various states, which are 21 chapters in 21 different states, and they joined the CPD group and we moved on. Now, also in the beginning of the pandemic, we did a survey to find out what is the level, what's happening, how are the doctors doing. And we got about 136 responses. And basically, it showed that they were doctors from various levels of experience, different practice settings from academic and hospital, independent cell phone practice, group practice, employed, corporate employees, and others. Also, we came to know that the AFPI WhatsApp group and other forums were the go-to places where the family physicians were keeping themselves updated. Now, how many people were seeing COVID patients in the beginning? 50% were seeing only non-COVID patients. So the uptake there was very little. Possible cases, COVID cases, at 64%, they said, okay, maybe we are seeing only non-COVID, but some might be possible COVID cases. So they were still struggling. And then one of the challenging and unsaid and unaddressed, underdiagnosed, untreated things is the anxiety, worry of patients and doctors. So there were various levels, and that also the doctors were handling.
We were then approached by the president of the AFPI Tamil Nadu chapter, Dr. Lizzie Vincent. We had conducted OSCE orientation program in the year 2017, a popular one, and we got some great feedback. And OSCE was back in the DNB curriculum and exams again. Residents required help, they required guidance and some orientation with a few practice sessions. We definitely extended that support. We formed a team of about 10 members, again, faculty from different parts of the country in different practice settings. The collected wisdom definitely helped, and we conducted our first Family Medicine OSCE orientation program for this year on the 25th of June. Again, there were 4 more practice and mock sessions which the residents wanted us to do, and we were glad to deliver. All the faculty participated, and we divided ourselves into 4 sessions and conducted all the practice sessions successfully. AFPI Tamil Nadu chapter again wanted us to take part in case-based discussions for the residents, and some of us were invited as facilitators, and we delivered and conducted sessions on different topics, which was again highly appreciated.
This year was unique, especially for the residents and for their OSCE exam. Because of the challenging circumstances, the exams are going to be held. The OSCE stations would be for 5 minutes only. And the faculty decided, a group of faculty, about 10 in all from different parts of the country, different settings, we decided to write a book on family medicine 5-minute OSCE for the DMB exam, which was very well received by the residents. We got a very positive feedback, and it was published in record time. So these 10 faculty from different parts of the country got together, and me in here in Canada, we worked day and night for 1 month to bring out this book. And the time difference of working in 2 different time zones, helped, while one team was working in one time zone and the other was working in the other.
So the OSCE sessions kept us busy for 2 whole months, and we were working day in and day out to help out the residents. When we concluded all the sessions and the residents went for their exams, we continued our scheduled sessions, and this one particularly, the infectious disease update, was a refresher session, particularly in the times of COVID. There were COVID webinars everywhere. So people were getting webinar fatigue, and there were no clear-cut guidelines, and they were not too keen on any more COVID webinars. So the infectious disease webinar had an attendance of about 195 participants, which was very, very encouraging. And myself and Dr. Hemant, we tried our best to convey a good case-based discussion. Moving on to the next topic, which was conducted by Dr. Resmi and Dr. Zareen from different parts of the world. They conducted a session on thyroid update, which was very much appreciated again, highlighting some of the very key points as far as skills and knowledge was concerned. We moved on to conducting our first session with an esteemed panel of speakers who were regularly seeing tuberculosis patients. We in fact had a guest speaker who was the local coordinator in Bangalore, ironing out processes so that tuberculosis diagnosis and treatment was a smooth process. Dr. Sujit, Dr. Soumya definitely shared their wisdom, and it helped all of us to learn more about tuberculosis. Moving on, we had our next session on putting preventive care into practice. Now, preventive care we know is a very, very pertinent and is an important component of family medicine. This was our session with our first international speaker, a renowned one, Dr. Shivani Malhotra from the United States. The session was moderated by Dr. Kamlesh and myself, and again, it was appreciated by one and all.
Moving on, the highlight of 2020 was, of course, the challenge of COVID, but we also rose to the occasion and we wanted to highlight what family physicians have done. So we had a session dedicated to family physicians and healthcare professionals for their selfless sacrifices during the pandemic 2020. We called it as the Jai Ho, Vijay Ho session. In this, we had 13 different speakers from different parts of the country who presented their stories about COVID as warriors or survivors, warriors, and warrior survivors, and warriors again. Each story was different, and it was heart-moving to see how things evolved and people adapted, and how much compassion, innovation, and creativity developed during this year.
Before we conclude our annual report session today, we cannot part without thanking a few people. First of all, Dr. Raman Kumar, the President of the Academy of Family Physicians of India. Without his unrelenting support and the freedom given to us to deliver and navigate the sessions the way we want, this would not have been possible. Dr. Vandana Bubna, the Secretary of AFPI, without her support and participation equally with us whenever required, this again would not have been possible. The people behind the curtains who have supported us through and through were the National Executive of the AFPI. I must mention here about Dr. Lizzie Vincent, President of the Tamil Nadu chapter of AFPI. Her encouragement and motivation have always helped us to deliver and become successful. Dr. Swapna Bhaskar, President of the AFPI Karnataka chapter, has also encouraged us through and through. And how can we forget all the speakers, the facilitators, and the participants of the session? It is because you are, we are.
And so the CPD group's journey continues. And while we move forward, we would like to have a feedback from you all regarding what we could do better, especially in 2021. Feel free to give us advice. We are open to it because there are challenges, situations will change, and we need to adapt to ourselves to that. We have miles and miles to go before we sleep. There are lots of things which we have to do together. Thank you.